welcome back to another episode. My name is Rihanna Monique, and this podcast and this channel, it is for Kingdom Works. We are doing work for the kingdom, for the Lord's kingdom. This is episode 29, and today I just want to talk about breaking the cycle. When I tell you guys, the devil he's been trying it today. I've been trying to, when I woke up this morning, God gave me this message. I've just been studying and everything, and He's been giving me this message and putting me through tests throughout this week about this and what we want to talk about today. And then today, it just went left. And I woke up, I had an issue this morning and made me very aggravated. But, sometimes you just have to sit in the presence of God and count your blessings today. Like, I have to think that I'm alive today. Some people did not wake up this morning. I have my eyes, my ears, my legs, my hands, and I can't allow the things of this world to stress me out. So that's even part of breaking the cycle. I did not used to think like that back in the day. I used to allow my anger to just drive my day. If something upset me, I'll be upset the whole day. But God has definitely been working on that with me. But yeah, let's get into this word. All right. And I tell you, the devil don't want me to give this message. There's just been so many distractions, and I was able to kind of get the message together throughout the day, but everything just kept stopping me from being able to record. It was a moment of time earlier I didn't even want to record, but then God had to check me real quick. But yes, when you having a bad day, seek God. Put on some worship. Just pray throughout the time that you're angry or upset, because He will ground you and just put you back at peace. Let you know that it's all going to be okay. It is going to be all good. Okay, so yes, I just have to mention that before we get into the word. But I just want to start off by saying that the Lord can help you break unhealthy cycles in your life. And that's only if you are obedient and if you are increasingly aware of His presence. He will help you make the right choices, and the right choices will keep you on the narrow path and lead you toward your blessings. You block your blessings when you make that wrong turn. You delay the process. Delay the time to get to the destination, to get to where God needs you to be. Kind of picturing just like a train track. When a train is going straight, let's say God has you on a straight path, and then the enemy want to pop up. When the train track goes right, and then you have this stick. I think it's a stick that kind of controls it for you to kind of switch the tracks. But you make that choice and use that stick to go right when God needs you to go straight. You delay in the process, delaying the time for you to get to the destination. So instead of going straight, you end up making a whole turnaround. And sometimes you probably got to start back over. But that's kind of what we're going to touch on today. Just stand on the path that God has for you, and how to stay on the path that God has for you. And yes, we make mistakes sometimes, but being obedient to God and listening to God, He will make sure He is showing you the path that you need to be on, the path you need to stay on. You just gotta be willing to be obedient and listen and make that choice, even though you don't want to. You gotta be willing to be open to trusting Him and allowing Him to lead you. Okay, so now you might ask, how do we break the cycle? We simply choose. If your choice is outside of God's will, it will lead to destruction. When you choose God, when you choose the fresh trails of adventure God has for you, He reveals things you did not know. In the Word, it says in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12, it says, "There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death." You may ask, how do you know if you are choosing the right path? How do you know if this is what God wants you to do, or if I'm just making decisions on my own? Am I going on my own understanding? The only way you can truly know what path is the path of God is if you are rooted in His Word. If you have the gift of discernment becomes easier when you have the Word within you. Choices become easier. Discernment will keep you on the right path. You understand why God is. Actually, He would give you the information on why you need to make this decision, why you shouldn't make this decision. And I'm going to give an example of that a little bit later on. But I want to share Isaiah chapter 58, verse 11. It says that the Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your soul in drought and strengthen your bones. You shall be like a watered garden and like a spring of water whose waters do not fail. It's funny because, like I said, whenever I do a message, the Lord always tests me either before or after. And in this case, He tested me before, I kind of got this message together. Okay, so I'm going to share just a test that I had earlier in the week because it really relates to this message. So earlier in the week, I had a situation where I had to make a choice. Depending on the choice that I made, it could have led me off of the narrow path, or it could have kept me on it. The power of prayer, prayer is so powerful, and the Word is so powerful. I wouldn't have even known that, this was like a serious choice if I didn't go to God in the Word and in prayer. So before I made this choice, the Lord gave me a vision. And when I say a vision, I just mean more so of like a thought, but kind of like a picture in my mind, mentally, if that makes sense. So He gave me a vision of two roads. One was dark and one was white, and it was lit up. He first said to me, "You have to make a choice." I just felt in my spirit like I have to decide and make a choice, because if I do one thing, it's going to lead to this, and if I do this other thing, then it could lead me to that. We're going to get into this. But the thing about the dark path, before the vision, I was kind of contemplating on if I should just do it. I just thought it would be no harm. It sounds like the enemy, don't it? It had so many good things about it. I honestly thought of settling and going with the flow. But something told me I need to pray on this. So I prayed. He showed me how much I would gain if I chose the white lit path. And of course, the white lit path is the path of God. And the other path is probably my own path and what I wanted to do. So on the white path, it was bright. Like He showed me I would be at so much peace I will learn so much about myself. I will grow so much. He will bless me so much. And just show me how much joy I would have and how happy I would be if I chose to stay on his path. But if I chose the dark path, the path that was not for me, I'll be back to depression, back to doing the same things that I used to do. I won't feel loved. I'll be sad, lonely. I'll be lost again. And basically, he kind of showed me that I would draw away from him. I would no longer seek him, and my relationship won't be the same as it is today. On the other path, it was just stronger, and I was just happier on that path. So that's kind of what he showed me. So basically, he led me to pray about it. And then when I prayed about it, he kind of showed me and told me that I need to make a choice, and showed me the differences between them both. I also meant to mention that he asked me to make, it's a net right here. I'm sorry, guys. And he actually showed me to, I'm gonna tell you, the devil. Why? But he showed me, see, I lost my thoughts. But yes, he advised me to pray. He told me to pray. I prayed. After prayer, I actually wrote a pros and cons list, because he told me to write, a pros and cons list. What are the pros if I chose this? And what are the cons if I chose this? And after that, based on that, that's when I got the just a vision of both roads. And he kind of just was speaking to my spirit and letting me know, what will happen if I went with my own decision, or if I went with what he has for me. Okay, so stay with me, guys. I'm almost done my story, but I just knew I had to make a choice. But God didn't stop there. After prayer, writing a list and the vision, I went to study. That's what I do in the morning. I read prayer and study, and then devotional. So I went into just studying the next chapter. This is in Isaiah 48. He confirmed it was him speaking to me from that prayer through the word. And that basically, if I didn't take his path, what could possibly happen? It was all in the word, I tell you. So in chapter 48 of Isaiah, so in chapter 48, basically God is kind of speaking to the Israelites. And I'm going to summarize, I'm going to give some verses, and I'm going to summarize it, just to let you know what I got from it. But yeah, you can definitely read that chapter and just kind of see what's going on there, but I'm going to get a short part from it. But in verses 3-5, it says that the former things I declared of old, they went out from my mouth, and I announced them. Then suddenly I did them, and they came to pass. Because I know that you are obstinate, and your neck is an iron sinew, and your forehead brass, I declared them to you from of old. Before they came to pass, I announced them to you. Before they came to pass, I have to repeat that, I announced them to you. Lest you should say, my idol did them. My carved image and my metal image commanded them. So this is what I got from here. So God is just saying that, I told you beforehand about things that were going to happen, and things that will transpire, and then I did them. I told you I will do certain things if you did this, and then I enacted them. And I did that because you are hard-headed, the Israelites. He says, I know you've forgotten the things I have said. God gives us consequences if we do not obey, and how he will bless us if we do. Well, if we do obey. But Israel did not want to listen. So God says, I did what I said I was going to do, and I declared them to you, so that you can't say it were idols or other gods or anyone else. I made sure that you knew from the very beginning. You see the power of prayer and the word, like, man. This is why I always say you have to stay in the word. Because if I wasn't in the word, I wouldn't be rooted. I wouldn't have seed on good ground. I think I talked about this in the past. Just your seed being on good ground. It says, these are the good and honest hearts who keep the word and bring forth fruit. Jesus says they do this with patience. This means they will never give up. They will never quit. You want your seeds to be rooted in good ground so you won't sway. You know, I have this picture of this tree when I go hiking. I love seeing this tree every time I go hiking, but I'm going to insert a picture. But it's this tree, and it's like it's rooted in the ground. It's rooted so much that you can see the roots above ground, and it's like spread it out really big. It's beautiful, and I'm going to definitely insert a picture. But that's what I mean when I say rooted. Rooted so much that you can see the roots, not only from the inside, but you can see them from the outside. Then nothing could really sway you off your path. I mean, you know, we make mistakes and bad choices, but to be rooted so that you can know when God is speaking to you, when God is saying no, don't go that way. Don't make that decision, because if you make that decision, this is what will happen. This will hurt you. I want what's right for you. I want what's good for you. You see, God will protect you only if you allow him to. Only if you are obedient to him. Before I made a choice, or I even knew that there was a choice I needed to make, I prayed on it. I listened to the Spirit of God and I prayed. After prayer, he had me write pros and cons. And once I prayed and wrote the list, he gave me the vision. And once I got the vision, he confirmed the vision in the word. And once I got the word, I then made the choice, the right choice. I broke the cycle. Because back then, in a day, I ain't gonna say the day because, you know, back then I would have definitely went with that decision and continue on that cycle. But we breaking cycles, like we're growing, breaking generational curses, and so generations to come could see God in this light, see God in our life and in their lives, and to truly live in his power, in his word, to truly be like rooted in him. In Psalms chapter 32 verse 8, it says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you and watch over you. You know, sometimes we wonder why we are in the same situation over and over and over again. It is because we left God out of the decisions that we make. We think that what we choose is what's best for us, forgetting who God is the Creator, that God can take us out of any situation only if we surrender to Him and let Him in. In Isaiah chapter 55 verses 8 through 9, it says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts." God can't lead you and protect you if you are on the wheel. Take the back seat and ride. Allow God to get you where you need to be. For me, I know I want what God has for me, because when I was doing it on my own, and when I was choosing on my own and doing my own thing, it didn't get me to where I am today. The only way I got here where I am today is because of Him, and me being obedient to Him, and me allowing Him to lead me. Sometimes it is scary, but you gotta trust Him. When I choose what I want, that's when I end up in a cycle. And He doesn't want us in a cycle. I ended up in the same situations, no peace, no joy. We have to break the cycle if we want all of what God has for us. You know, I've been speaking about trust, and I kind of want to touch on that. I always say you should be building your relationship with God. You should be learning more and more of Him, because when you learn more of Him, you learn more of you, because He is within you. You learn who you are at the core. That the world see you as one way, but the way the world see you is not the way the Lord sees you. As you grow in Christ, you begin to trust Him. It's not easy to allow Him to lead you all the time when you haven't developed trust. You develop trust just like any other relationship. For example, you don't just trust someone you met maybe a day ago. You know, if you want to develop a healthy relationship with that person, you have to be able to trust that person. And how do you develop a healthy relationship or trusting relationship? You have to communicate. God wants to speak to you. He wants you to speak to Him throughout your day, to read His Word. It's here for you. He wants you to pray. You're not just praying and studying for nothing. This is literally how you communicate with Him. This is how you stay in relationship with Him, and you grow in your relationship with Him. It's through His Word and through prayer. If you're not doing those two things, I'm not sure, really not sure how it could be a relationship, because it's like you know God, but how are you communicating with Him? How are you going in your relationship if you don't have a prayer life, or you don't have the Word within you? In Jeremiah 33 verses 3, it says, "Call to me, and I will answer you, and will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known." That's facts. These are the things you need to do on a daily, honestly, to be given the gift of discernment. You have to acknowledge God in everything that you do, even the little things, so that He can help you make the right choice to break the cycle. And I would say little things Just like even food, let's say you got a donut in one hand and a salad in the other. He will let you know. If you plan on you really want to drop some weight, he will let you know. You eat this sugar, XYZ is going to happen. But if you eat this salad, it'll give you life. Sugar will make you sleepy, make you gain weight, cavities. But the salad, it comes from nature. It's life. It will give you life. Okay? So just think about today and what decisions you can make today or tomorrow or going forward to keep you on the path of light, to keep you on the path that God has for you. Some people just live life for what it is and just take life for what it is, just cruise through life. And that could be dark. And I know it because I've done it. And some people choose to live life, make decisions in life, and end up with all of the things that God has for them. All the things that He has in store for them. So I just want to ask you, are you just going with the flow in life? Or are you making godly decisions to keep you on the narrow path, to lead you to what God has in store for you? Think about it. Okay, family, so I thank you all for listening. That is all I have today. I pray this message blesses you and that you choose God and what God has for you, that you break the cycle, that you're not going through the same situations, but when God presents you at a choice point and He shows you that this decision will get you here and this decision will get you there, that you make that right choice. You don't want to delay your blessings due to being disobedient. Keep fighting in the spirit. I know it could be hard some days, but you have to keep fighting for you. You're not fighting alone. You have a king behind you in the spirit fighting on your behalf. You are not alone. He needs you to be strong and stay the course. Let go and allow God. Let God lead. Let Him take control, take the will in your life. And also I just pray for the people that God is calling. If God is calling you to Him, and if you feel that tug in your spirit, I just pray that you answer the call. God has something greater than you can even imagine for you. He wants to pull you out of the dark into the light, so you can live in true peace and joy, so that you can see that you have a life of purpose. Alright, so I thank you all again for listening, and feel free to comment down below, or if you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below, and I'm going to list my email there if you want to do any one-on-ones. Alright, so I thank you all again. God bless you all. Stay prayed up. Until next time.